NBA free agency pretty much done and wrapped up. All the big major moves pretty much done. Here's my rankings of the 5 best teams in the East. I think the number 1 team has to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. Them being the best team in the East. They were the best team in the East last year. One of the best teams of basketball. They really didn't lose anybody. Ty Jerome didn't really show up for them in the playoffs, so replacing him with Lonzo Ball makes more sense. Lonzo Ball is more of that facilitator, a better defender, a guy that could still shoot from 3. You could place him in a lot of lineups. You could get creative with how you use him. Great 3-and-D guy. Will push the transition. One of the best guys at getting steals as well. So will help push the pace for this team. And even adding Larry Nance to this team, a really athletic power forward, a guy that could play next to Evan Mobley, could also play next to Jarrett Allen. Versatile, guy. A guy that's just going to come in, make plays, and create some momentum. A better George Niang. Niang obviously is not as mobile. Great 3-point shooter. Beats Larry Nance in that category, but Larry Nance provides you more impact and all-around ability. And he's playable in the playoffs. The great thing about the Cavs, too, all their biggest opponents, all the teams that gave them the biggest trouble, the Pacers, the Celtics, those guys, those teams are dealing with their superstar player being out. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out for the whole season. Jason Tatum, there's some opportunity for him to come back maybe during playoff time. In a realistic world, the Cavs should probably not have to deal with the Celtics. So with the Cavs team we saw last season, they just pick up where they left from. They'll be fine. They'll be the best team in the East. New York Knicks, I think they'll be the second best team. This is a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals last season, a couple games away from making the finals. Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, they had some good moments, but they also had some bad moments. Tom Thibodeau didn't make things better, didn't play the bench, didn't have trust in the bench. The bench was a little, sus, but still I didn't like what he did with his lineups, and I think he got out-coached by Rick Carlisle. Tom Thibodeau ended up getting fired, and I think it was justfully so, because the offense wasn't strategic at all last season. He took the Knicks as far as he could, and then, obviously you play the better coaches come, Eastern Conference finals time, and he's not able to win those battles. He set the culture, he set the standard. It's time for somebody else to come in and take over and finish the job, like a Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr thing, and I think Mike Brown potentially could be that guy. Was around a lot of winning teams, Coach Kobe with the Lakers, Coach, LeBron James took that LeBron James-led team when he was young to the finals against the Spurs. He really has adjusted well to what his team's strengths are and what their weaknesses are. With the Cavs, it was a great defensive team. With the Kings, when he coached them and won Coach of the Year, they were one of the best offensive teams in history, in NBA history. They had the number 1 net rating in NBA history at that point in that season. So he's the exact guy that I think could get the most out of Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson as a duo and help that team be better defensively and help that team, be able to overcome, Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson's defensive inabilities. Adding Yabo and Jordan Clarkson are really great moves off the bench. So I think those are guys that are going to make an impact, and I think Mike Brown will allow them to make an impact. I'm excited to see Jordan Clarkson cook on a contending team. Number 3, I think Jamal Mosley is a really good coach, and I think the Orlando Magic will be a top 3 team in the East. This was already one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. They gave the Celtics a run for their money in the first round. Paolo Banchero was fantastic in that playoff series. And Franz carried this Magic team while Paolo was hurt for majority of the start of the season. And he was much improved in the playoffs. Jalen Suggs will be back. He'll be healthy. Jonathan Isaac's still a great defender off the bench. He got rid of Cole Anthony, but I think Jace Richardson is a guy that could replace his production pretty well. Tyus Jones off the bench now as that facilitator, that real traditional point guard that they haven't had. He could shoot 41% from 3 too. Desmond Bane is a perfect complement to Paolo and Franz. And then Franz's brother, Mo, is going to be back healthy too. A pivotal, impactful player off the bench. So I really like how this Magic team is shaping up. Desmond Bane's going to be a 20 points per game scorer next to Franz and Paolo. He's going to make an impact. He's gritty too. And come playoff time, they'll have another lethal scorer. He's going to give them way more than KCP and Cole Anthony did combined. The Atlanta Hawks, I think this is the 4th best team in the East. I think Trae Young having all the defenders possible around him to cover up his weaknesses as a defender. Great rim protectors. Kristaps Porzingis, if he's healthy, he's going to make a huge impact. He's the biggest X factor for them. I like the draft pick they had. Asa Newell, I think he's going to be great. Great rim protector. Give them great minutes off the bench. Luke Kennard's going to have a great shooting season. Jalen Johnson, I think he's going to be a 20 points per game scorer this season. And their first round pick last season is going to take more steps and be a better player, a better rotational guy, a better starter. Like, this team is really going to be really competitive and really good. They could even add a DeMar DeRozan too. That's a landing spot for DeMar DeRozan. Another scorer, another guy who could create his own shot, a guy that could be clutch, just as clutch as Trae Young at times. I'd be excited to see DeMar DeRozan compete on a contending team. I think the Sixers are a team that's not getting a lot of notice. This is a team I would predict to win the East. If Joel Embiid is healthy, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. This is like a guy that led the league in scoring for the first time from a big man since Shaq in 2000. He's dangerous. So if he could be healthy, he's going to make an impact. And then, the Sixers, great young nucleus. This is one of the best young cores in the NBA. Jared McCain is a bucket. He was on a tear, averaging 20 points a game for a nice stretch, a nice month before he got hurt. Looking like Curry with his painted nails. Tyrese Maxey, that's an all-star guard. VJ is going to be like a Jimmy Butler type of player. He's going to make a huge impact. Going to be a great defender, athletic as hell. So I'm excited to see him get some burn. Paul George, I think he doesn't have to be Paul George with the Clippers, Paul George with the Thunder, or Paul George with the Pacers. He just has to be better than he was last year and healthier than he was last year. And if he can do that, I think this Sixers team has a great shot to beat any of these teams in the East. I like their rotational guys too. I'm hoping Quentin Grimes can resign with the Sixers. Then I feel really great about this team. I'll put them higher than 5. At the very worst, the 5th best team in the East. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.